the pipeline is not in, it's not in my interests, it's not in my family's interests, it's definitely not in my children's interests. There's no real debate about global warming, and I think this project can only make global warming worse. And it is not a bridge to any fossil fuel-free future. And for those reasons alone, I think that the project is a terrible idea. I'm all for Coos Bay having 150 jobs. I think 150 jobs for Coos Bay is a great idea. I just think that this is the worst possible way of going about obtaining 150 jobs for Coos Bay. It's destructive of everything that's in the pathway of the pipe. It's a potential threat to our existence as a species. It's madness is really what I think. So they're putting a pipeline through a geologically active area. It seems reasonably plausible that the pipeline could crack and break just because of a small earthquake. The pipeline is running under the Rogue River. It actually, from what I understand, it runs under one of the last spawning sites for Chinook salmon that is left. You know, I'm sure that there's an end. Coos County will be very careful to make sure that their liquefied or their liquefaction plant is as safe as it can be. But the thing that comes to my mind is the Fukushima nuclear reactor disaster in Japan. I mean, I also assume that they made fairly certain that the reactor was totally safe. Meanwhile, Jordan Cove in Coos Bay is being built in a tsunami zone. I mean, really? Is that really where they're going to put this thing? For the cost of, you know, driving a pipeline through a bunch of landowners' property who don't want it, you know, generating the vast amount of, or the relatively vast amount of greenhouse gas emissions in this state. I think it's a pathetic trade-off. I mean, I'm not opposed to 150 jobs, but I think it's a tiny fraction of what we could get if the money was invested in other ways.